Rosenblatt was instrumental in the construction of the ballpark, which now bears his name. Rosenblatt was the mayor of Omaha from 1954 to 1961, but before entering a life of public service, he played an amateur and semi-pro baseball. After starring as an athlete at Technical High School, Mr. Rosenblatt attended the University of Iowa on a baseball scholarship, but had to leave college to help support his family. He played basketball briefly at Omaha University. He was the person most responsible for getting the stadium built, as he pushed for its construction after personally locating a hilltop site. In the early 1940s, Mr. Rosenblatt and several businessmen were seeking a AAA baseball franchise for Omaha. The idea for building a ballpark received major incentive in 1944 when Omaha was ruled out as a possible site for an American Association franchise because it lacked a suitable stadium. Mr. Rosenblatt and his friend Eddie Jellin were the prime movers behind the stadium push. As chairman of the Municipal Stadium Sports Committee, Mr. Rosenblatt approached the City Council to request a referendum in April 1945 for a stadium bond issue. Mr. Rosenblatt ran for the city commissioner in 1948, primarily on the platform that he would complete the stadium project properly. It cost $770,000 to build what was originally known as Omaha Municipal Stadium, which opened in 1948 with a seating capacity of 10,000. Original construction plans called for a brick exterior, but that was scaled back to concrete to save money. Even so, construction of the ballpark cost $290,000 more than planned.
I think about this a lot, actually. Rosenblatt sat on top of a hill, and especially if you were sitting on third base side, you had this panoramic view of the sky going out over Iowa. And during the summer months, on nights when there were thunderstorms and things like that, it was just really pretty outside, to be outside and watch all that. And I've thought about that a lot. That was part of the experience. This is really cool.
He joined Ed Pettis and Morris Jacobs in persuading the NCAA to relocate its men's championship baseball series to Omaha's new stadium. In 1950, the College World Series settled into Municipal Stadium after 2 years in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and 1 in Wichita. His original goal for the stadium was fulfilled in 1955 when the St. Louis Cardinals brought a AAA baseball team to Municipal Stadium. The Omaha Cardinals occupied the stadium until 1959. Mr. Rosenblatt then negotiated with the LA Dodgers, whose Omaha Dodgers farm team played 2 years at the stadium.
The way the stadium was built, the concourses where the concession stands were very narrow underneath, the seats above and then these concourses below. And on a Friday or Saturday night when the place was really packed, those concourses were just really crowded. And just going to get a drink or some food or something, you could stand in line for, better part of an hour at the worst. That got annoying.
The ballpark was renamed in Rosenblatt's honor in 1964. On June 10, 2008, the Omaha City Council officially approved a contract to build a new downtown ballpark after the NCAA agreed to a 25-year extension with the city to hold the College World Series there.
The NCAA gets a lot of the credit or blame for it because they wanted a newer, shinier, more modern, contemporary facility for the College World Series, thinking that would help market it more and help keep that growing. It's a big money maker for the NCAA. The potential for losing the College World Series to another city, and Indianapolis was the one that was talked about the most, had the local Chamber of Commerce and business community really concerned because it's a big money maker for them too. And so the real reason Rosenblatt had to go was ultimately, in the end, so more money could be made elsewhere.
Take 5 months to tear down what took decades to build and perfect Omaha's Johnny Rosenblatt Stadium.
In the time between our 5 o'clock live shot now, we've seen several cars and just people on foot walking past the fence here and looking at this rubble pile where the pavilion used to be.
This excavator takes the first of what will be the final swings at Rosenblatt Stadium. Swings that won't be recorded on any scoreboard, though they are in plain view of fans. Dozens more gathered to watch nearby, the emotions of the moment weighing on their faces. Husbands and wives Fathers and sons, neighbors from across 13th Street, all lost in memories.
After a month of demolition and recovering, the building that was once Rosenblatt was now a pile of rubble and memories for longtime fans.
If you grew up in the city of Omaha and you were in a family for whom Rosenblatt was a part of your life, seeing games there, other events there, you probably will always have memories of it your whole life.
The Henry Dorley Zoo used the newly available space for expanding, remodeling, and upgrading parking and current zoo exhibits.
The site will be clean and be ready for us to come back and build the infield at the zoo and pave it with our parking.
But to onlookers here, that is not progress, because to them, this ballpark on the hill is hallowed ground.
It's really going to change the dynamic of the whole, baseball phenomenon in Omaha now that Rosenblatt's actually going to be gone.
Rosenblatt will become 900 new parking spaces and a new entrance driveway for the zoo as part of an ongoing $36 million expansion plan.
After 2 years and $131 million, TD Ameritrade was now open to the public and was eager to show its new improvements.
Even though the dynamic was changed, it was for the better. TD Ameritrade improved the quality for baseball fans.
One of the dugouts is about twice as big as the ones that were at Rosenblatt. It's the best seat in the house if you're a player hoping to be the next College World Series champion. TD Ameritrade Park is equipped to hold 4 teams at the same time. So that means there's 4 locker rooms, and with those locker rooms, each team gets their own batting tunnel. Here we have wood lockers, carpet on the floors, everything to remind these college players that they're playing at the highest level. One of the things you'll notice right away is the new scoreboard, 34 by 55 feet, all in glorious high definition. This is one of the most distinctive features at TD Ameritrade Park, the open concourses. They talked about it for years. You'll remember at Rosenblatt when you were trying to go get concessions, you were down pretty much underneath the stadium in a basement. Well, not here. If you need that hot dog, you're not going to miss any of the action out on the field. Well, if you're a big guy like me, one thing you'll notice is that the seats are a little bit bigger than those at Rosenblatt Stadium. Not just here behind home plate, but throughout the entire facility. Well, I found what has to be my favorite seat in the stadium, the club bar. Anyone who owns a suite here at the stadium will get access to this area for any event held.
I drive by it, it's bright and shiny, looks really clean, and it doesn't yet have the character of, hundreds and hundreds of thousands, millions of butts and seats over many years, That'll come in time, but it's pretty cool looking. And the views I've seen on video and stuff, it's a very streamlined, clean looking park inside too. So it's probably a great place to watch a game. I should probably be down there.
The people of Omaha were pleased with the results and excited about the new improvements to the stadium.
The National Collegiate Athletic Association was also impressed and decided that Omaha would continue to host the College World Series now in the new stadium.
Though Rosenblatt is no longer standing, it has not left Omaha, as numerous memorials now reside around the city.
The most impressive of those memorials is the infield at the zoo. The infield has numerous original pieces from Rosenblatt, including dugout benches, seats, and markers for the original position of first base, second base, third base, and home plate.
A friend who I share the shared season tickets with at Rosenblatt, we bought one of those memorial bricks down at the infield at the zoo, and so if you know who we are and you walk by there, you can see that's our brick.
Aside from the infield, many businesses have acquired many of the original pieces from Rosenblatt Stadium, including the original sign at Ticket Express, the Road to Omaha statue outside of the stadium, and numerous sets of seats purchased by fans and businesses like Raising Cane's, St. Albert Schools, and the Blatt Bar and Grill. Some of these seats are still available online for purchase.
I think memory is important in a community. It's something that I guess, since we're at the university, collective memory is the scholarly term. It's something that can unite a community and help people feel warm towards each other. And so those efforts to honor the past and commemorate it, I think very important, and it's worked out pretty well.
Is it the end or the beginning? Sadness or joy? Such a rare treat to enjoy something so special, so near and dear for so long. A museum and a cathedral, a beacon that has shined for 6 decades. Generations have been drawn to what can only be described as a field of dreams. Johnny Rosenblatt Stadium and the road to Omaha, synonymous for so long. The good people of Omaha protect this shrine and all that it stands for. And they once again welcome us home. The city busts with pride. The stage set one last time.
I miss Rosenblatt. I watched a lot of games there, but the way things have turned out, I don't really miss it. You know, I transitioned to being a fan of the Omaha Storm Chasers. I share season tickets with a friend out at Werner Park, and I'm still enjoying great baseball, so I'm happy.